Hey, everyone. You know who it is. Hope you guys are doing well. Maybe you missed the news. Maybe you didn't. But this past weekend, it has been announced Drake is being sued once again. Okay, no, it's sorry. Aubrey Drake Graham getting sued once again. Really because of his undying love for the online gambling platform Stake. The guy, if you haven't noticed, has pretty much become a full-time gambling spokesman. He's just basically Mr. Gambling, the gambling guy. And back in October, we actually did a video on this channel, a formal edited video, kind of covered this topic before. That's why I wanted to maybe switch things up a little bit in the format, do a quick live stream with a VOD. And applause, oh no, almost as bad as ASAP Rock. This is nowhere near ASAP Rocky. Whatever he's doing, he's doing. You know, he's making some music. This is on another level of awfulness and deviousness and weirdness. But again, back in October, we talked about this topic already, making myself a little big here. We talked about this topic already because there was a similar lawsuit filed in the state of Minnesota, I believe. Yeah, it was filed in Minnesota. Actually, just double checking over here. Drake and Stake.com sued in class action lawsuit tied to gambling losses from Consequence. And this was Missouri. Sorry, got it mixed up. Missouri. So there actually is an active pending civil lawsuit against Drake and Stake due to the sort of nefarious ways in which they operate and promote the platform, many ways in which Drake promotes Stake through these streams, through his social media pages, is talked about in this lawsuit, including, you know, kind of like faking the gambling losses stuff, because obviously any money he's using on Stake to gamble away is being given to him by Stake, which obviously is, you know, not a true portrayal of the act of going onto the platform and using your own money and, you know, potentially losing it. The process of, you know, trying to win big while you're gambling live. But yes, there is an active pending lawsuit on this topic already in the state of Missouri. And now, according to these documents, there is a similar lawsuit that has just been filed in Virginia, also class action. Now, I do want to say there are some big scary words that have been getting thrown around in regards to this lawsuit that have had a lot of people, I mean, rightfully freaking out, but like maybe making this out to be a little bit bigger than it is. And again, not to say that this isn't a big deal. I did listen to the Rocky, and there will be a video on that tomorrow. Not to say, again, that this is not a big deal. It certainly is. But there have been a lot of people saying like, ooh, federal lawsuit, RICO, so on and so forth. And I don't want anybody to sort of like get this mixed up with like what happened recently with Young Thug and YSL and that sort of thing. You know, there was no big sort of you know, FBI crash into Drake's residence situation where, you know, they like went through all this stuff and that sort of thing. Hey. I have crippling tinnitus. I hope you don't. Jesus Christ. Anyway, that is not what we're talking about here. That is not what's happening here. We're not talking about a criminal suit. We're talking about a civil suit, but still a civil suit that is seeking damages. And again, taking issue with the ways in which Drake is tied in with the Stake platform. And there's actually, I would say, maybe a little more depth to this particular suit because it rounds up some other interesting names, not just Drake. And we will get into it. Here we go. This is the lawsuit itself. It's all laid out here, 22 pages of it. We have a couple of people, again, names, a couple of people named here. We have Drake. We have streamer Adin Ross. who very frequently works with and collaborates with and crosses over with Drake, specifically when it comes to this stake stuff. And George Nguyen, is that how you pronounce this man's name? We'll be learning some interesting stuff about all these guys as we sort of like go through this documentation. The civil suit is filed, obviously on behalf of all Stake US users, but specifically by Tiffany Hines and Lashana Ridley. These plaintiffs, through their attorneys, bring this action individually and on behalf. I'm just going to scooch this over a little bit over here so we can see better. Thank you. Thank you, chat. Thank you for being so polite. The attorneys bring this action individually on behalf of all other similarly situated, the class, against the defendants Sweepstakes Limited, Stake US, Aubrey Drake, Adin Ross, George Nguyen. Collectively, the defendants, plaintiffs, make the following allegations upon information and belief, except those allegations as to the plaintiffs or their attorneys which are based on personal knowledge. Okay, so basically there are going to be some allegations made in this lawsuit that are based upon, again, personal attestment to these things happening. I'm not sure what proof is going to be kind of like brought in regards to some of these claims, but again, lawsuit. We hope to see whatever this is kind of bearing out in court, unless there is like a settlement of some sort. More trials. He did that shit. That's not how you pronounce Nguyen. If it's not, please let me know in the chat. Spell it out phonetically. I will say it properly. Fix me, save me, help me. I appreciate it. All right, this consumer class action seeks to stop Stake US, an illegal online gambling platform promoted by Drake, Ross, and Nguyen. Okay, thank you. Used by Drake, trying to obscure transmissions of money in furtherance of their ongoing music botting campaigns. So, again, there's sketchy stuff going on with the gambling, just like with the Missouri suit. But what makes this lawsuit, I guess, like questionable, because how are they substantiating this, but also potentially more deadly, fraudulent, embarrassing, is that there's some pretty lofty botting campaign allegations going on here, specifically in regards to botting Drake's music. Allegations are being made that all of his stake money is sort of like, being swished around and recycled and used to make Drake's music look more popular than it is. Stake US is a U.S. storefront, for Stake.com, which has been operating as one of the largest and most profitable illegal online casinos since at least 2022. Stake US was created and marketed to U.S. customers as a social casino that purportedly does not permit real money gambling to bypass applicable U.S. federal and Commonwealth of Virginia gambling regulations, because obviously, again, I'm not a stake expert, but given all the information that we dug up on stake from the last video that we did on this, you're not technically using your money to gamble on stake. You're sort of like using your money to buy sort of like stake money, and you're doing like some money transfers in order to get the cash or the funds or the numbers, whatever you want to call it, that you do eventually go and gamble with. So through that sort of workaround, they're able to say, well, you're not really gambling with money. It's just like, again, you could call it an in-app purchase, whatever. It's all just like very sketchy and, it's semantics, monetarily speaking, I guess you could say. Social casino does not permit real money gambling. And look, state by state, there are vastly different gambling laws going on. And Stake is most likely violating a lot of different gambling laws across the 50 states because each state has different rules, which is why a lot of online casinos are so difficult to run, because what rules you're supposed to be operating by could be dependent upon who the users are when they go onto your website. Attempting unsuccessfully to hide behind the facade of a safe and free gambling experience, Stake.us misinterprets itself to regulators and consumers. In reality, it operates as an illegal online casino. Stake.us offers nearly 2,000 casino games and permits players to place bets using specialized casino chips and to cash out their winnings. A lot of this is repeated from the last lawsuit. I wonder how much of it is like literally directly built upon the lawsuit and how they further sort of like substantiate these claims of the botting. Yeah, they talk about the virtual currencies over here, which we've gone over in the last video. Defendants Drake and Ross are paid by Stake to promote the platform. The two have engaged in live stream gambling, wagering large sums of money that were provided surreptitiously by Stake. In other words, though Drake and Ross purported to be gambling with their own Stake cash, it was in fact provided to them by the house. Which again, you know, is it like the biggest issue in the world morally if they're doing that? I mean, you could say no. However, if you're not being upfront with that with your users and you're creating essentially what is an advertisement and you're kind of lying to them, making it seem like, oh yeah, I'm spending my own money here, that's a lack of transparency there. And that is where the issue sort of comes in. Through these and other promotions, Stake has bombarded consumers with advertisements appearing on social media platforms. This almost reads just like the last lawsuit. Again, I wonder how much of this is like just directly a copy over from the last one. Batman seems to be having a good time. Chat, he's dead already. Someone mute the spammer. What happened to Iceman? Iceman's getting pushed back probably. Unless Stake can pay to have it come out in a timely fashion. Defendants Drake, Ross, Nguyen have also made use of Stake, including through its U.S. storefront, Stake.us, to directly transfer money between and among themselves using Stake's tipping program, an unlimited and wholly unregulated money transmitter that appears to exist outside of the oversight of any financial regulator. Defendants have utilized Stake's tipping program, basically transferring gambling proceeds wagered through on the Stake platform. In addition, through Stake's tipping function, defendants have financed their combined artificial streaming botting to create fraudulent streams of Drake's music, fabricate popularity, disparage competitors and music label executives, distort recommendation algorithms, and distribute financing for all of the foregoing while concealing the flow of funds. I guess that's another kind of layer to this that I didn't really necessarily consider when talking about some of this botting stuff. I mean, presuming that a platform like Spotify is like completely not in on any botting anything. Let's be charitable here to Spotify and say, you know, maybe Spotify is completely unaware that there's any botting going on at all. Let's just say that. Their algorithms obviously are heavily influenced by how much music is getting streamed on the platform, whose music is getting streamed more than other artists' music. So if Drake or other artists are able to use, you know, these sorts of techniques to make their music seem more popular than it is, the algorithm is only going to juice that stuff further, because the algorithm doesn't virtuously go through all the music on the platform and say, oh, what poor little artist has not gotten enough streams lately. You know, let's find the little people who aren't getting enough attention on Spotify. That's not how the Spotify algorithm works. The Spotify algorithm just feeds into pre-existing and also creates on some levels itself as well. But for the most part, just feeds into pre-existing popularity cycles. So if Drake is just sort of like, and other artists too, are making their music seem more popular than it is through bots, that is almost like worsening the gap of popularity between artists at this level and smaller, more obscure indie artists too, because they don't have the access, they don't have the ability to sort of like throw all of this cash at making themselves seem overnight famous. So they're just having more streams, more potential attention or recommendations taken away from them because Spotify is just trying to feed further and further and further into what their metrics say is music that is hot and is very in demand. So again, another thing to sort of consider in the lack of morality here. In addition, through Stake's tipping platform, yes, got that. At the heart of the scheme, Drake, acting directly and through willing and knowledgeable co-conspirators, has deployed automated bots and streaming farms to artificially inflate play counts of his music across major platforms such as Spotify. These inauthentic streams, injected via interstate digital pathways, were calibrated to mislead royalty and recommendation engines, manufacture popularity, distort playlists and charts, and divert both value and audience attention. In tandem, this manipulation has suppressed authentic artists and narrowed consumers' access to legitimate content by undermining the integrity of curated experiences. Damn. I mean, pretty much everything that I just said there. In terms of the effect of this potentially. User-to-user tipping and encrypted internal transfer mechanisms have fueled and enabled payments to bot operators. One example of a publicly documented large value tip is $100,000 tipping transfer between the defendants Drake and Ross in 2023. Hey, man. Love your stuff, buddy. Let me just send you... Let me just send you $100,000. You ever give anybody $100,000 tip? Ever like somebody so much that you're just like, hey, man, let me just tip you with a nice crisp 100K, you know? I mean, I'm that type of guy sometimes, but when I do it, I make sure to do it legally. In December 2024, Drake gave away large sums of money in partnership with Ross and Stake as a part of his Drizmas giveaway. Oh man, to be a part of the Drizmas giveaway, what a blessing. These tips and many others like them cycled among defendants Drake, Ross, and Nguyen, underwriting, botting, and paid engagement campaigns. Days before the filing of this complaint, defendant Drake gave defendant Ross a $220,000 car as a gift. He's a generous guy. Stake.us platforms, Stake.us's platform's design, which masks counterparties and camouflages withdrawals as generic transactions, stymie scrutiny and obstruct tracing of illicit proceeds. Tipping proceeds and other transfers on and from Stake.us went directly or indirectly from defendant Drake to, through, or with the knowledge and assistance of defendant Ross, and from there to defendant Nguyen. Nguyen served as a facilitator and operational broker, alternatively converting a stake-based cryptocurrency to cash or receiving cash from stake transferred cryptocurrency proceeds. From there, Nguyen interfaced with bot vendors, supervised coordinated amplification strategies, and integrated paid clipping campaigns. So they're alleging this guy, who they have not mentioned yet, but this dude is also allegedly the guy that runs that Academics TV Twitter account. Have they said this? Are they going to say this? I'm not seeing it in the page right here. But if you guys are on Twitter and have seen that Academics TV Twitter account that pretty much posts like academics, like, you know, DJ Academics, like news bullshit, allegedly that account is not him. And he claims to have like nothing to do with the account. He claims it's just like some other guy. And it does seem to be some other guy. But again, he sort of like alleges, I don't run the account. I have nothing to do with it. It's not mine. I don't do things with that account, which obviously he just says to sort of like, you know, distance himself from the sort of shit that gets posted on there when, you know, he sort of gets blowback from it. And I imagine it's also as a means of kind of like further separating himself from stuff like this. Love that this dude is such a creep that he's like basically being like, yeah, sure, man, I'll handle the botting campaigns. Very, again, allegedly, very interesting. to read that in this lawsuit. The clipping campaigns were facilitated through the clipping service and affiliated networks on X, formerly Twitter, Discord, Kick platforms. Kick, in turn, is a betting platform financially underwritten by the founders of Stake. Public posts, chat logs, leaked communications, and other records document Nguyen's direct handling of funds through multiple payment platforms, orchestration of narrative surges, and amplification alongside and as an instrument of Drake and Ross, which is a really crazy allegation. It's really sort of like displaying an entire web here. You have Stake, which is such a profitable platform. You have to imagine how many people are like completely destroying their lives, dumping all of their money into Stake, in order for the website to be so profitable that they basically finance Kick and make Kick what it is, just so that they can have another platform for streamers to be on that isn't Twitch, to just further advertise their online gambling bullshit. And then on top of all of that, to have enough extra money to be giving hundreds of thousands, if not millions and millions of dollars to Drake, to Adin Ross, then that money going to Nguyen, then that money being used to bot streams for music, bot streams for live streams. It's some big allegations. Plaintiffs and the class are Stake US users who have been misled by Stake US misrepresentations that Stake US is a legal, harmless, and safe gambling site, when it is in fact not legal, not harmless, and not safe. Stake US preys on consumers in Virginia and nationwide who are lured into real money gambling, exposing consumers to substantial risks of gambling addictions and jeopardizing their and their family's financial well-being. Again, guys, not a topic we talk about often, but there is a reason gambling state by state is regulated heavily and regulated differently. And again, there are reasons that things like online casinos are difficult to run and difficult to implement because with no rules and no regulations, things really can get quite crazy. I mean, even Drake himself, allegedly Stake's golden boy, has had public complaints about the platform not being able to, cash out on there or get his money out that, either he won or had been promised, and again, was publicly on social media complaining about this. If the guy who is Stake's pay pig, we call him a pay pig, if Stake's pay pig is having trouble getting his money out of the website after he's transferred it or had been given it through, fake Stake cash or whatever the fuck it is, imagine what your average person is dealing with in terms of either trying to get their money or having their money ripped from them once they've essentially gambled it all away. Moving on from this point, plaintiffs have been further damaged by false marketing manipulations and abuses of defendant Drake, who is, by his own public announcements, has been paid some $100 million per year to promote Stake. Wow. As well as defendants Ross and Nguyen, who have participated directly in the marketing of Stake.us. As documented in their many online posts across multiple platforms and endorsing Stake. Excuse me. Goddamn. Let's see. The Batman guy? Okay. He's going crazy. The Batman is manned up. All right. Let's plaintiffs assert. All right. Let's see. Okay. So plaintiffs assert claims under the racketeer influenced and corrupt organization. So this is where the RICO bit is coming in. Virginia Consumer Protection Act. Plaintiffs seek damages, treble damages under RICO, restitution and disgorgement, injunctive and declaratory. Man, I'm not up on my legalese. Relief, attorney's fees and costs, and all other relief deemed just and proper. I wonder, the amount in controversy exceeds $5 million. Okay. Let's see. They're talking about their jurisdiction and venue. Excuse me, Virginia, because this is again is specifically a Virginia suit. 6. At all relevant times, Drake engaged in nationally promoted live streams and financial promotions connected to stake.us that reached this district and caused other harms to class members residing within this district, described here and again, sort of further proving the, as we set up here, not parties, but jurisdiction. Okay, let's get into this bit, because obviously they're going to make their case that this all has to do with Virginia, because, I mean, that's literally their job. Declaratory. Thank you very much. I know I'm an idiot. Leave me alone. All right. And I'm also, mind me here. I think I'm doing an excellent job. Okay. Excellent job. Considering I have acute dyslexia. Okay. And what that means is that it's very cute when I read. All right. So give me a fucking break. All right. With that being said, all right. Stake.us has operated since at least 2022. Shout out to them. Holy shit. The Batman guy is going crazy. Hold on a second. There we go. Put user in timeout. 24 hours. Bye, dude. There we go. I saved you guys from the Batman. Okay. All right. You gotta say thank you in the chat though, for saving you from the Batman. Thank you, baby. Thank you. Cutie patootie. You're doing great, sweetie. Thank you. All right. Anyway, we need Miss Crystal. Miss Crystal is dope as hell, and I did ask her about this suit, but obviously being a lawyer, Miss Crystal has thoughts, but I wasn't going to drag her into this because gambling suits are not her forte, and she's also busy. She's a busy woman. The Cryptopsy Classic Review is going to rock, and I am working on the first Classic Review. It is true, but I'm taking a break to do this. All right, factual allegations. Stake is operated. Stake is banned from operating in Virginia. Stake.us is almost identical to stake.com because, again, they're trying to create another layer of like, oh, this stake.us is different than stake.com. Gold coin, stake cash. Users are allowed to cash out for digital gift cards or cryptocurrency because, again, they're kind of creating these layers of, oh, you're not doing it with cash, but you have to spend cash in order to... 21 Savage is better than Metallica. I mean, it's a take. It's an opinion you can have. It's definitely an opinion you could, feel if you want. But, I mean, you could just say it one time. All right. Despite offering online casinos, Stake.us holds itself out in terms and conditions as a platform that does not offer real money gambling. Okay. The social, safe, free gaming experience. Let's see. Here's how it works. Yeah, they explain how the gold coins stake cash transfer works. Because, again, you are gambling with money. You just have to spend money to get the money and get the coins and get the cash that you are gambling with, which is silly. Users can buy gold coins, so on and so forth. Again, just like they talked about with the last lawsuit. MGK is better than Metallica. Hey, now you're cooking. Now you're cooking. MGK is better than Metallica. Now you're really cooking with gas. All right. Well, anyway. The Stake.us platform allows users to play casino games such as roulette, virtual slot machines, which are pure games of chance. The outcome of these games is determined by random number generators. Users may bet stake cash on these online casino games with the prospect of a large payout, often many multiples of what was bet. Stake's virtual casino games involve no skill or strategy. I'll just say personally, as like, somebody who has gone to the casino before and has had fun there. I'm not a high baller, guys. I'm not flexing. I'm not saying it's something I do on a regular basis. I haven't gone crazy at the casino or nothing. But a game like roulette is crazy and high chance in itself enough, like on top of that, to basically allow it to be dictated by a random number generator, which do we really know if it's random? if it's all digital and it's all online, there's like, and again, none of it's being regulated. There's nothing saying that like each time the thing doesn't just make you fucking lose because you're a fucking idiot who put tens of thousands of dollars into a fake online casino. Like, you got to be kidding me, you know? Like if you really, really, really want to like throw a bunch of your money away on roulette, go in front of an actual roulette. Go in front of a real roulette table or something. You know, if that's something that you really care about and something that you really want to do. All right. Exactly. There's no incentive for honesty. Like, again, it's not regulated. It's all digital. A roulette table is dictated by all sorts of like random laws of physics, none of which come into play when you're playing a fake digital roulette table. You know, like, you don't know if any of that's on the up and up. You're just kind of throwing your money into it and just like kind of crossing your fingers. But anyway, yes, I do read the chat. So don't fucking embarrass me. Anyway, Stake.us does also feature live dealer games, which allow users to interact with human dealers and experience what it could be like to be at a land-based casino where you're sitting comfortably at home behind your computer or on your mobile device. Stake's live dealer games are filmed in a studio and players may bet on the results, for example, of the spin of a roulette wheel. So you can do a roulette wheel through the computer? I mean, there's got to be ways to fudge that as well, but that's weird. Or the next blackjack card. Stake's live dealer games, like their counterpart in a brick and mortar casino, are games of chance. Again, very weird, very strange. 9, Stake's deceptive marketing practices. Okay, this is we know how Stake functions at this point. I don't know what these deceptive marketing practices are. Originally created as an online cryptocurrency casino that could be accessed, albeit unlawfully, by consumers in the United States by use of a VPN. Stake.com's founders later developed Stake.us, an almost identical version of Stake.com. Drake, Ross, and Nguyen have been zealous promoters of Stake. It's in the name. Drake has been paid by his own admission, again, $100 million per year to promote it. Drake, Ross, and Nguyen have further incentive to promote and mask the true nature and extent of their conduct on and around Stake.com. Since at least 2022, Drake and those acting under his direction, including Ross and Nguyen, have made use of Stake.com and Stake.us to covertly finance the orchestrated procurement of botting and streaming farm activities to artificially inflate the number of plays attributed to Drake's catalog across major digital streaming services such as Spotify. And to imagine that maybe this could be going on since like 2022. Who is Nguyen? He's the guy who allegedly runs the Academics TV Twitter account, which, if you're up on your hip hop community drama, is a very notorious figure, and a very kind of seedy guy. And he was actually not mentioned in the last lawsuit that was filed in Missouri, to my knowledge. So for him to be named in this lawsuit, and they actually mention his screen names as screen handles as well, which I think you guys find very interesting in the lawsuit too at one point. But they're kind of naming him as not the guy who all the money is going through, but the guy who eventually gets past the cash once Ross and Drake have it to bot stuff and clip farm and do narrative pushing and so on and so forth. Like essentially a propagandist in their names. Which again is very funny, very weird, very strange. Something that I think is worth noting and keeping in our minds in this current time period where there's a lot of drama, a lot of forced aggressive drama going on right now between Adin Ross and Doechii. Don't Be Dumb is going to get reviewed. It's just got to drop first. And you know, the thing is, this drama isn't just coming out of nowhere. It's like very planned. It's very botted. It's very forced. It's very spammed. You have numerous like random no-face accounts posting it over and over and over and over. You have Adin Ross and a lot of his like, lackeys on the internet flexing the fact that even though the video, because he did a song with, noted child sex case haver 6ix9ine. He did a song with that guy, a diss track where Doechii was mentioned, obviously. And there was a lot of flexing and making hay over the fact that, hey, our song got more streams than Doechii's track. But if you actually go and look at both tracks on YouTube, the Doechii song has far many more likes, like tens of thousands more likes than the Adin Ross track. Hey, how you doing? Thanks for stopping by. This is good. The Drake lawsuit is good. So again, all of this talk in this lawsuit about narrative pushing and using this money potentially to propagandize people and bot is important to know when you're considering that you have guys like Adin Ross here who's using his entire platform to go to war with a random rapper on TDE, but he's connected to Drake. So of course, being Drake's lapdog and a guy who, likes to sniff the chairs of other men, cue the clip of Adin Ross sniffing Andrew Tate's chair. He's going to do whatever Drake tells him to do because, he's not the alpha dog. He's a guy who peaked in high school. So he's going to look for a bigger, more relevant, stronger guy to follow and do whatever he says so that he could seem cool and relevant and interesting when in fact he's just like a shrimp dick lackey who needs to go after people like Doechii in order to seem interesting and relevant. All right. Well, let's see. For these reasons, among others, Drake and Ross maintain a monetized and closely intertwined relationship with Stake.us. Drake and Ross have exchanged high dollar amounts as tips, which we've talked about earlier, which have not been fully transparent. Specifically, we talked about this again. They're just like replaying some stuff here. Facilitators, including Nguyen, known recipient of payments linked to clipping and amplification campaigns, which again we talked about. Okay, here's the screen name thing, which is interesting, because from what I understand, and I've seen pictures of this man, alleged pictures of this man, this Nguyen individual, the guy who runs the academics TV account. His screen names that he has been known to go by on the internet go by Grand Wizard, and then Grand Wizard Chat, and then the N-word. Which, I mean, to be a hip hop account and have is Grand Wizard a KKK nod? Like, what is going on? Like, why would you want to reference the KKK on your hip hop account? I don't know. That's very strange. It's very what is you can use your mind to figure it out. What the censored word there is. Why you would want to use the KKK to, I don't know, as a reference point for your screen handle as like some kind of like noted hip hop account or hip hop meme account or something like that. I don't know. It's very weird. Or Grand Wizard CN function and appears to continue to function as a broker and operational facilitator for these schemes. He is publicly connected to Weekdays / Weekdays Capital and the clipping service, which orchestrated paid clipping campaigns intrinsically tied to streaming numbers in influencer content, including campaigns involving Drake and Ross. Basically laying out this guy's whole operation, connecting it to a Discord server. This guy's public posts include corroboration by Ross, who on stream declared, "I'm friends with Grand Wizard, that's my dog," while tagging Drake's account. Okay, so we have an admission there of connection publicly. That's his dog. Your dog is the Grand Wizard guy. A lot of people in their right mind would be hard pressed to say, "Oh yeah, the Grand Wizard guy, I'm totally cool with that dude." That's a dude totally normal people would be cool with. Definitely something you name yourself when you're a cool normal guy. And it's very interesting that this lawsuit, again, is kind of like portraying him as like the glue that's holding a lot of this together. Drake has bet large sums, so on and so forth. We went over this too. Drake's journey from a player to a partner. This section was kind of gone over in the last lawsuit as well. Again, it does sort of seem like a lot of this is kind of being, repeated and then brought to another state, which, considering the weirdness of Drake's affiliation with Stake and the way that casinos like this, again, are wholly illegal, you have to consider, with each state having its own different gambling laws, that there's potential for there to be like 48 more lawsuits like this leveled against Drake and Adin Ross and this Nguyen fellow, this Grand Wizard fellow. Because again, a different lawsuit could be filed in each state that essentially copies this same language over and over and over, because this is all illegal in each state separately. Would be interesting to see if a lawsuit like this cropped up in my own neck of the woods. What's going on? Drake is getting sued for basically promoting illegal online gambling, because that's something very smart people do. All right. We have consumer harms, which we've already kind of gone over the harms of illegal, unregulated online gambling. I feel like the harms kind of spell themselves out. Let's see. Continuity and ongoing threat. The enterprise and its participants, where once again, Drake, Ross, and Nguyen are, named once again, with bot vendors, streaming farm operators, and other facilitators and unknowns associated to form an association. In fact, enterprise, within the meaning of 18 USC 1964. Guys, with this suit and all the allegations that are being named here, it's important to take into account that if you see anything very positive, very, I guess I would say what seems like a very promotional on the internet being fed into your feeds over and over and over and over from Drake, from Adin Ross, from this Nguyen fellow, or anybody connected to him, because he works with other, sort of like accounts and creators and posters in the online hip-hop social media space. It's important to remember that with all this money behind them and all these connections to bot farms and streaming farm operators, they can literally post and berate anybody about anything or push any narrative down people's throats, as long as they're willing to pay for it to be pushed and repeated over and over and over and over and shoved out into the internet. So you can't necessarily take anything that is positive, anything that is promotional about any of these individuals, anything connected to these individuals, as organic in any way whatsoever. Of course, like, these guys do have some actual, like, literal passionate followers who will believe anything that they are told about them, because they're mindless fools who are highly propagandized and moronic. But many of them are being paid and are even bots themselves to basically push these ideas and push these narratives. And on the flip side, like in the case with Doechii, if you see anything that is overtly negative about anybody who has made an enemy of any of these people on the internet, most likely that too is being forced by these same streaming farm operators, by these same bots, by these same clip farmers, and so on and so forth. And social media accounts, faceless social media accounts that will basically post and repost and retweet and bot and fake like the same bullshit videos and, fake shit about Doechii or whoever over and over and over and over, in order to sort of like, force this aggressive astroturfed hate campaign against her, just because she dared to not like Adin Ross, because Adin Ross was talking shit about her one time, because maybe she's connected to TDE and she's TDE's flagship artist right now, and anything having to do with TDE obviously is like, gonna make Drake's blood boil. So, it is what it is. All right. Yeah, no, it's true. I don't hate Kanye. I hate him being anti-Semitic. All right, well, the enterprise and its participants, again, we've gone over much of this. The Scheme and Racketeering Act. So I guess this kind of plays into some of the RICO stuff. Operation of an illegal gambling business, additional use of financial institutions, the class action allegations. Plaintiffs bring this action individually and on behalf of a class of similarly situated individuals pursuant to Rule 23 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. Plaintiffs seek to represent the following classes or persons. Let's see. All persons in the United States who created an account or access stake.us who purchased gold coins. Hey, this is important for maybe some of you guys in chat. I mean, I think like the vast majority of you are probably smart enough to not throw a bunch of your money into an illegal online casino, especially an illegal online crypto casino. But just in case you are, and no, I did not pray today. I'm sorry. I apologize. Or somebody who has, if this class action lawsuit goes through and is successful, there is going to be some kind of like pursuit of, returning some of these damages to people who have been ripped off. So I don't know, it's worth, I lost 20K on stake. Just kidding. I mean, there are people who have, so, I mean, if you happen to know anybody and you're from Virginia, you know who else is from Virginia? Clips and Pharrell, maybe they're tied up in all this. No, I'm kidding. All right. Let's continue on. All right. Let's see. It's all coming together. It's all coming together. Let God sort them out, as they say. Let's see. We have the numerosity. I knew it. Push Missy Elliott. Missy Elliott's from there too. I'm from VA where there ain't shit to do but cook and online gamble. You can online gamble there too. Is this God's plan? It's the bot's plan, actually. You could say. Commonality and predominance. There's just a few more pages left. Typicality, adequacy of representation, superiority of class action, the violation of RICO, participation in an unlawful enterprise through a pattern of racketeering activity. Plaintiffs reallege the preceding paragraphs as alleged herein. Defendants associated together with others known and unknown to form an association, in fact, enterprise within the meaning. Yes, this. Okay. Each defendant conducted and participated directly or indirectly in the enterprise's affairs through a pattern of racketeering activity affecting interstate and foreign commerce, including leveraging stake.us's unlawful gambling related operations as a conduit within the last 10 years. Referenced in public enforcement and consumer actions to facilitate and conceal the scheme in violation. Yes. Okay. 18 USC. Count 2, RICO conspiracy. Count 3, Virginia Consumer Protection Act, because obviously, again, online crypto casino in Virginia, illegal. Prayer for relief. Okay, here. Okay, we can actually, somebody asked if we prayed today, we can pray here. We can all pray for relief here. Here is your Virginia mandated prayer break in this legal documentation stream. Take a moment, all of us, to pray for relief, legally speaking. Okay, let's get a prayer in. Let's get a quick prayer. Okay, all right, get a prayer. Amen. Let God sort him out. God is great. We'll let God sort him out. One true God. There we go. All right. We prayed for relief there. Jury demand. Okay, so we've pretty much we've read it. We've gone over it. Okay, guys. Well, there you go. Drake is being sued once again. Any major takeaways from this lawsuit that you guys have? Life is good. Let God plan. Peace, love, and prayers. Gorilla's track review. There's no God chat. Okay, no, this is not an atheist stream. I didn't say that. I didn't say this is an atheist stream. Okay. Laws plan. Fantano, can you give us some more 10s? Of course. I mean, you know, the world needs to give me more 10s, but whatever. All right. Let God Cook. We will. Hyper Classics Week. Classics Week starts this week. I'm going to go work on the next classic review right now. I did a Rocky track review. I recorded it. It'll be up tomorrow. BBL Drizzy. Will the BBLs, after this lawsuit goes through, will he be able to continue to afford the BBLs? We will see. Praise Giggins. Yes, praise Giggins. Am I hyped for Resident Evil 9? I don't know. Should I be? Should I come on stream and play it? When's the Buddhist stream? When the next lawsuit rolls through, then we'll have the Buddhist stream. Shout out to CoffeeZilla as well. I was not crazy about the Punk Rocky, honestly, but I will give all my thoughts as to why when I do a video on it. All right, guys, you're the best. Love you a million. I will see you guys soon. I will talk to you soon. Enjoy this. Enjoy Classics Week. Anthony Fantano, Drake, Suit, live forever.